on. Hello everyone, it's Pete and Grata here from the Purple House at Forth, answering your questions.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year. But it hasn't been too happy for a lot of people on the mainland. We're blanketed with smoke even here in Forth in Tasmania a few days ago, and it's really horrific seeing the fires up on the mainland, people experiencing loss of everything. It's
shocking.
It is.
And we all feel a deep sense of grief and ache and helplessness.
Helplessness,
even.
really, yeah.
Yeah. So we just feel very, very thankful that in Tasmania we have it relatively, well, actually very good. We're very lucky to be in Tasmania with the weather as well.
And this year, so far, the fires haven't been too bad down here, but
except for Fingal and some other places. But tonight, we actually want to discuss something that's related to fire, and we want to talk to you about how your body burns on the inside when you are experiencing irritable bowel syndrome or other gut issues, and what it really means. What does it really mean when you're experiencing gut issues? It means that your intestines are on fire, and I'm going to let Peter explain how that works. So your body is on fire without you even realizing.
And some people experience fire up their esophagus, reflux, and it's the acid from the stomach coming back up into the esophagus with undigested food. And it's usually due to not producing enough hydrochloric acid in the stomach to digest the food properly.
Okay, so Pete, I'm just going to interrupt and pretend I know nothing, okay? I like playing that game. So Pete, I thought it's to do with having too much stomach acid. I've been told by my doctor and specialist that I have to have antacids and what is it?
Nexium
or Losec,
Somac.
Yeah.
Losec.
Yeah.
If you go to the doctor with reflux, heartburn, that's what you'll be prescribed. But ideally, you'd only be on that for a maximum about 3 weeks if you had a stomach ulcer.
But most people don't need it at all.
No.
It's the opposite of what you need. But anyway, we better not go into too much detail.
The reason being, we don't kill the bacteria that we eat with our food, and they start producing gas, and it comes back up the esophagus.
Yeah, but you don't kill your bacteria if you don't have enough healthy levels of stomach acid. But we actually did some research today, and there were some horrifying numbers to do with Australians. So
this is inflammatory bowel disorder, which is the bowel that is on fire. And the reason why...
No, what are the numbers?
Yeah, the reason why it is on fire for 1 in 250 people in Australia, which is about 75,000 people in Australia.
That's the highest
from a medical journal in 2018.
Apparently the highest incidence in the whole world are Australians with their irritable bowel syndrome and inflammatory bowel, more so than in any other part of the world. So Australia is burning on the outside, and Australians are also burning on the inside, and we also feel quite horrified when we read those numbers.
Yeah.
And apparently it's going to increase even more so.
Expected to rise to at least 100,000 in 2022. So that's
a lot of people.
A lot of people in
1 in
Australia.
250 people, and that's actually have the diagnosis of irritable bowel.
Yeah.
So Peter sees a lot of irritable bowel at work every day. That's something he kind of it's part of his field of expertise. So Pete, what does it really mean when you have irritable bowel? Can you put that in a nutshell so people understand?
Well, irritable bowel is the bowel on fire or being inflamed due to the stomach acid remaining too acid when it goes into the bowel. Normally when the stomach releases a little bit of acid food from the sphincter at the bottom of the stomach, the gallbladder gives a squeeze of concentrated bile, and that's a very caustic or alkaline
And it extinguishes
And
the fire of the acid. So like
it's,
your stomach is here, like
yeah,
we're talking about the here, like not your lower stomach, in case people are wondering what we're talking about. We're talking about this part where the food gets dropped in. That should be very, very acidic, like a car battery. And then if that works well, that triggers your liver and gallbladder to give it a big squirt of bile when it drops down into your gut, into your lower bowel.
It's 100,000 times difference in pH, the bile to the stomach contents. And if you have ever poured vinegar on bicarbs of soda when your children were little, made a volcano for them and caused a big eruption, that's what happens just outside our stomach, or what's meant to happen. But
in the small intestine. So that's actually when you could see the bile as like the fire brigade, squirting. The bile kills that fire, and that releases that's released, and that's all your nutrients.
It blows the food to smithereens, so it completes the digestive process. So if that isn't happening, the stomach contents remain too acid and start burning the inside of the bowel, causing an inflammatory bowel disorder. Also kills off all the good gut bacteria.
Yeah, so you become very nutrient deficient.
And the gut bacteria are 80% of our immune system, which keeps us nice and well. So,
and it's also to do with your brain neurotransmitters. So
it is, yeah.
It keeps you nice and happy and relaxed and give you good night's sleep. And if your gut is compromised, like with anything like irritable bowel, we're just choosing IBS at the moment. It really, really affects the way you think, the way you look at life as well. So,
so we've found that most people who have been brought up on a Western style diet, which is pretty well everyone in Australia, particularly cereals and breads, grain products, they are
pasta, pizza.
They're clogging their livers up with stored sugars that have been turned to stored fats, and it clogs the liver up, so the liver can't get rid of the waste out of the body, which is actually the bile that neutralizes that stomach acid.
The bile gets too sticky, so it stops flowing.
Doesn't run properly. And so we have noticed over the years that there's a high incidence of people who have liver stress. I do the biomedics testing, and nearly everyone has stressed livers. So the bile isn't flowing properly, the digestive system isn't working properly, and you're not breaking proteins down properly.
So you can I interrupt for a minute, because the bile is like, it sticks in the little pipes, like inside your liver you have lots of little ducts or little pipes or little tubes. And the bile, if it's too sticky, it clogs it up. So it's like you need to bring in the plumbers if your toilet is blocked or whatever, isn't it? Or your sink.
Well, it makes it a bit, the Beet Flow supplement that we have is probably one of the best things we've ever come across. We were introduced to that when we studied the biomedics testing, and
in America,
and it's one of the best things we've ever come across. It gets the bile so it'll run properly. It opens up the little ducts in the liver so the bile can run, but it also makes it runny. So, and
it's a fire extinguisher, so like you stop having diarrhea, you stop having the burn. So if you had to choose just one product, let's say if you were like our Prime Minister and says, I only want to bring in one fire brigade for all of Australia, one firebomb, you would choose the Beet Flow, okay? That will immediately lessen your aches and pains in your body. And it's actually not even just killing the symptoms, it's starting to do you good. Plus it's got something in it that's really good for your heart as well. And Pete, do you mind if I talk a little bit now or not? Sorry, interrupt, because you can bring in the next. So Pete and I created the Ultimate Vitality Boost, which I'll post a link below when we finish. You can download this free ebook, and it explains it all better than what we can talk about. So because Pete and I come across gut issues, and of course a lot of deep-seated health issues.
Like most health issues
all the time.
relate back to the gut anyway.
Yeah. We decided, well, what is a package that helps absolutely everyone, like from ground zero, something that everyone in the whole world, if possible, would benefit from, right? And this is something that Pete and I use ourselves every day. So we started with Beet Flow. We've been taking that ourselves since 2009 now already, so that's already 11 years. Enzymes, everyone who's older than 20 needs enzymes, and this
we've read articles saying we'd be doing our children a service if we give them enzymes.
Today, children already need enzymes too. So Omnizyme is short for Omni, means every enzyme. So this is a really good enzyme mix. It's $52 and 480 capsules, which is really, really good.
Would last
the best price
one person 2 months.
You get anywhere in Australia. And then, of course, iodine. Okay, yeah.
Well, once you've neutralized the bowel, then you need to restore the good gut bacteria. So that's where the
immunosymbiotic is also a high quality product from the US. So unfortunately, we do import these products from the US because they're not made in Australia yet, because we can't find products like this in Australia just yet. So some good things do come from America. So this one, as it says, immune restores your tummy. It literally helps to heal and seal your gut after it's been burning. So that's like something Australia needs as well right now.
Good intestinal bacteria are a major thing. There is another one called immunosymbiotic X-Flam, particularly for inflammatory problems. It's a few dollars dearer than the Restore one. We put the Restore in that Ultimate Vitality Boost pack.
So who would use the X-Flam?
The X-Flam.
That's for inflammation.
For Crohn's and ulcerative colitis.
Yeah, and what else was there again? Something I talked about the other day. I forgot now, but anyway.
But
any form of inflammation, X-Flam is really good. Plus, there's another
irritable bowel syndrome. It says the Restore one, but if there's a lot of inflammation in the bowel, the X-Flam one is the one of preference.
And then iodine, of course. Other than every cell in your body needs iodine, every single cell of your body, but also if you drink it in water and it goes into your stomach, like back in here, it kills bad bacteria and helps to restore good bacteria.
So if you've experienced the bacteria that creates stomach ulcers, then the iodine will be killing those off.
Yeah, so in here, like, it's got stories, tells you how to use the Ultimate Vitality Boost, like it's got pages and pages. We put this book together that's got pretty much your health in a nutshell, and it's for free. You can download it and also share it with other people who, people that you care about. So I had a question that I want to discuss on this Facebook Live as well from a lady who wants to she wants to start using the Ultimate Vitality Boost, but she hasn't got a gallbladder, so she was wondering if that would cover it. So we usually recommend something else on top of that, don't we, Pete?
Well, the thing when people don't have a gallbladder is they don't get that bolus of bile that we need to digest our fats with.
What is a bolus?
A big surge of bile from the gallbladder at the time when fats are eaten. So we also import ox bile salts. They're bile in a capsule, and I recommend people who have lost their gallbladder take one of those with every meal for the rest of their life, because we need to be consuming a lot more fats than what we are, so we become more reliant on fats for energy rather than sugars. Fats don't store as fat, and they don't clog the liver up.
Fats make you slim, and we're talking about good fats like coconut oil, butter, meat, fats, and so on.
And the good runny oils are your olive oil, macadamia nut, sesame seed, and peanut oil.
Yeah, and actually I want to mention this as well. When we see clients who've got a history of progressively worse health, and then we say, okay, what happened 10 years ago, what happened 20 years ago, we usually pinpoint it back to when their gallbladder was removed. So you might feel okay, you might actually feel a little bit better for a few months or even a year, and then your health will progressively start to decline, because everyone needs their gallbladder. So if you don't have a gallbladder, you definitely need the ultimate vitality boost. And you need to supplement with ox bile. But some people, their bodies are so used to now on kind of running low bile flow, Pete, that they react a little bit to the ox bile. So those people definitely need to do the beet flow. Now, I just also, before we finish, you want to show the digestive.
Quite often, if people come to me and they have lost their gallbladder, the enzyme that I recommend is called Digest. It does have an alkalizing effect on the small bowel.
So this is especially also then for people
without a gallbladder.
So that's good to know.
So the enzyme is the Digest, and then take the ox bile, plus keep your own bile flowing all the time, which is with the beet flow.
Yeah. So Pete,
and restore the good intestinal bacteria.
Yeah. In the past, we've talked about the mini liver flush, right? A little bit of a liver flush, not a really big one with lemons and olive oil. There is actually a shortcut that's way more pleasant. So you want to tell us about that again? And it's especially, I think, a good time now after Christmas, because we've basically crashed and burnt our way through Christmas by, like, you know, all the stuff that we
often consume a lot more sweet stuff and high starch carbohydrates.
Just too much of the good stuff. Yeah. So what happens? Your insides are burning. So how can you be kind to your body again and restore?
There is a liver flush that you can do with the beet flow. You could have 3 to 4 of those 4 times a day for 2 or 3 days, then back off to 2, 3 or 4 times a day for another 3 or 4 days, and then go back to 1 each meal.
And sometimes I've suggested that you just simply take 16 tablets in one day. So you have 2 for breakfast, and then at 10 o'clock, after your breakfast is digested, you have 2 or 3, have a 20-minute break, have another 2 or 3, and then, or like have a half-hour break. That would be easier. So 2 at 10 o'clock, another 2 at 10:30, 2 at 11 o'clock, and 11:30, 12 o'clock, and so on till you've, and then you stop, and then you have 2 for work. Quite a few of our clients. So we've had some awesome feedback on the beet flow recently. Even one young girl who hasn't had any migraines now for months since she started. Oopsie. Okay, and it looks like we're losing our connection. All right, so
we might have to say goodbye.
Yeah, we might be saying
internet
goodbye.
Connection has just dropped out.
That's right. And just in case you're still listening, there was somebody else who also completely got rid of their migraine. So that's 2 people. So that's pretty exciting, just in the last few weeks. So I hope you enjoy this. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon next week.
Put your internal fires out and stay safe if you're near any bushfires.
Okay. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.